do. I'm blinded by the hype.
Oh, BCM podcast. I am today's host. Getting a hat. His hair looks bad today. I'm here with Charles as well. Can you guys hear me?
Now I can. I thought that was just my computer. I was like, what's going on?
Why is your audio weird, Charles?
Oh, is it?
It's a little bit weird. It sounds like you're using a different microphone, but it's fine.
Wow,
his audio is weird because I was getting a phone call.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, yes. We got a lot to get to today. It's going to be an abbreviated show. Michael's got places to go, people to see, things to do.
Babies to kiss, hands to glad.
No,
None of
I
that's
don't like
true.
babies.
So what?
I don't like babies right now. Just right now. All right. So we're going to jump right into it. We got a big announcement out of Texas. House member Gina Hinojosa is running for governor. What do you guys think? Charles.
Governor of what state?
The state of Texas.
Excellent question.
Maybe she should run for one that she has a shot at.
Oh.
No, I mean, Democrats have to put up someone, right? They always have to. I just don't understand the Democrat that chooses to be that someone because you're going to lose. Like, I mean, especially like for that race. There are other races where there's probably a chance that maybe, given certain circumstances, you could pull it off. But I don't know, like against Abbott, I just don't. Why? So you can get a nice appointment at some, progressive political nonprofit later, I guess.
Are you saying that she doesn't believe she can actually win?
Yes.
That's an interesting question. Do you really think that she knows that she's going to lose, or that it's very likely she's going to lose?
Yes.
I mean, I'd hope. If not, then you definitely shouldn't be governor or whatever.
Note this.
What was that?
Note this.
Note this.
What
does that mean?
She says it like a million times in her commercial. She translates it too, but I don't remember what the translation is. So
you should say $1,000,001 and you'd remember.
Say what?
Maybe she should say it 1,000,001 and then you'd remember.
That's probably not true.
I'll pull up my Google Translate.
What do you think, Brad?
No te dejes. Fight back. That's the lesson my grandmother taught me growing up.
Oh, it means fight back, I guess.
I mean, I would
fight back.
I 100% would.
Why?
Don't fight back.
Yeah, because I would say no would mean don't.
Yeah, no te dejes. So don't fight back.
Or don't lay down, perhaps, is what it means, and it's just a loose translation. Come on, guys, be sensitive. This is Texas. You have to know some Spanish and a little bit about how it works.
Google Translate says don't let yourself.
Don't let yourself. Right. So don't let yourself be beaten.
Okay. What do you think, Brad? Does she know that she's got a slim chance?
She knows. She knows that she's not going to win against Greg Abbott. She knows that. There's 100% chance no one. It's whatever political operation she's hired to run her campaign to produce that beautiful campaign video has told her, here are your chances. And she believes them. And maybe someone is telling her in her ear, like, hey, here's how we level the playing field. Here's how you can get close to winning. And these are things you got to do. You got to call out Greg Abbott for, whatever. I don't know. Rounding up Mexicans, whipping them.
I disagree a little bit. I think it's a little bit of both. I think all of these elected officials have somewhat of an ego. And so they look at early polling data and they're like, oh yeah, look, nobody likes Greg Abbott and Democrats are polling well. And like, we could actually pull this one off. Everybody's mad at Trump, but if we don't pull it off, we have the added benefit of driving turnout down races and we take more House seats than we otherwise would have if we didn't have someone top a ticket. But I think she probably thinks she can win.
You have to think that you're the one. Like you are the special one, especially against Abbott, because there's probably polling that indicates that he's less favored than prior to things happening, whatever those things may be. But he's still, I think, maybe, I don't know. Cornyn, if you're talking about general and not just primary voters, I don't know, they probably rate somewhat similarly, but Abbott's never been like one of the most hated Republicans in the state among like the broad swath of people, I would think. So I feel like you're going after a really tough one with that one.
Yeah.
I think she might be. What's the Houston Lena Hidalgo?
Yeah.
I think Gina Hinojosa might have not topped her for me.
What do you mean? Go on.
What are you wiping your face for, Charles? Charles knows exactly what I'm talking about. That Latina fire.
Latina fire.
Yeah.
So 4 years ago, Beto O'Rourke pulled 43.8% of the vote against Greg Abbott's 54.8. Is it closer or further away? This one
further.
Further.
Yeah.
Is Gina Hinojosa going to do worse than Beto O'Rourke? Better or worse than Beto O'Rourke? Is that your question?
That is my question.
Oh God! If it's Greg Abbott versus her, yeah, she does worse.
What?
Where does the money go?
What world are you guys living in?
What do you mean Beto had
What are
you think
living
she's going to
in?
be able to build the army that Beto built? Like the door-to-door, like, huh?
What world am I living in? This is what I do, Brad. 2022. Who won the presidency in 2020? Who won the presidency in 2020? Trump did.
Biden.
They stole it from him, but Biden went in, right? And so who had the energy in the mid?
I don't know.
Who had the energy? I'm kidding, but the point is Biden was in the White House. So who had the energy in the midterms? The Republicans or the Democrats?
The Republicans? I don't know.
The Republicans. The party that's not in power always has more energy. Therefore, Republican turnout was higher than it otherwise would be. In this cycle, Democrats are going to outperform what they have in the past because they're all mad at the King Trump. And so I say Gina Hinojosa is within 5 points.
Within 5 points.
Oh God. Yeah, I know you do this for a living, Michael, but I think you're wrong. I think you're really wrong. I don't think yes, I will bet you 100%. I don't think that Gina Hinojosa is going to have the media apparatus behind her like Beto O'Rourke did, or all of the California money that Beto O'Rourke did. I don't think she's going to have the apparatus that Beto O'Rourke did. Will someone else? Maybe, but I don't think it's her.
She will 100% have that apparatus. She's not going to be a one-time loser like Beto was coming off the 2018 cycle against Ted Cruz. And the money that creates that apparatus does not really come from Texas. It comes from DC. It comes from the AFL-CIO and the SEIU and the big unions and Eric Holder and out of Chicago. And it's built in order to eventually, in their hope, turn Texas blue because that's got whatever 33 electoral votes. It's not a grassroots Texas thing. It's run out of DC. They got lots of money. And they don't have any other pickup states. Texas is one of the very few that they can pick up. So they're going to spend a lot of money here, especially if Paxton's on the ballot, on the top of the ticket for Senate to try to take Texas. And I think they're going to close the margin. They're not going to win. If I was a betting man and we were actually going to put money on this, I'd say, give me 6 points.
You are a betting man and you put money on things.
It's a figure of speech. I would say 6. Give me 6.
You said 4.
And I would bet that
3 minutes ago.
5.
He had 5.
But I was more just speaking generally.
Okay, now you want an extra point. So I
want 1 point.
We put a little bit, little chink in your armor, a little bit. Listen, she's going to lose by 8. If it's her versus Abbott, she's going to lose by 8.
Okay.
I don't know what she's going to lose by. I do think she's going to lose. I do think it's probably more than Beto.
Number. You have to pick a number. You can't do that.
But I do think that one thing I mistaken said before was what I was talking about when I was talking about Beto. I guess I forgot about the whole Cruz election. So that's what I was actually talking about when I said his like door-to-door thing where you would go and people had like my neighbor across the street had a sign on his garage door saying, "Come in, we're like calling for Beto." Like there's random doors open for people to walk in and just start sitting down and doing phone banking. And that was during Cruz, not during Abbott. And so I don't think he replicated that as strongly as he did during Abbott as he did during Cruz. But I don't think anybody replicates that the way that he did. Like I haven't seen a Democrat, what was her name? Wendy Davis on the heels of that whole, filibuster. She didn't even have that type of energy. She had some energy. It was energy, but it wasn't that type of energy. And so I don't know. I just don't see it.
That was a totally different world. That was the pre-Trump world. Post-Trump is It's totally different.
So who's the driving force behind Democrats coming out? James Tallarico?
I already told you.
Who?
Who's driving the energy?
Yeah.
It's got to be. It's just hatred of Trump and Republicans, and Gina, Hinojosa, and Tallarico got to try to. I don't know.
I mean,
bring some energy. Tallarico is going to struggle there, but I think Hinojosa is somewhat compelling if you're a progressive, right?
Is she?
I mean, you got to get the name ID first.
Yeah, I don't know how does she have the name ID? I know she's progressive. I have tried to interview her many times and she has always ignored me. That just makes me love her more. But I think this is going to be a Cruz all red type situation. I think that Cruz beat all red by a little more than 8 points.
11.
Don't think it was 11, but that's fine. Why do you roll your eyes? Look it up.
No, keep going with your point, and then we're going to move on to the next topic.
Well, I think it's going to be more of a Cruz all red. We don't even know if it's going to be Hinojosa v. Abbott, but if it is, I think it's going to be more of a Cruz. I think it's going to be more akin to Cruz all red, and I think that's going to be, I don't think the Democrats have the energy going into the midterms. Their polling has been really bad recently. I think it's going to continue to be bad. Is that because the government shut down? Is that because Trump is securing peace in the Middle East? I don't know, but their polling gets worse and worse for the midterms.
I Googled her because I'm really not familiar with her.
Right.
Like, this is the first thing that comes up. Like, who's voting for you for governor?
Sorry, what did you say, Michael?
You're right. 8.5.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, like I tell my kids, I get things wrong. I'm right 98% of the time, not 100. That's weird. I can't. We're all just creations of God, and we're imperfect.
I love that when you just slither away like a snake.
Like very Ted Cruz-y snake-ish, or like some other type of snake, like a rattlesnake.
Ugh. You rolled your eyes so fucking hard at me. Disrespectful.
Yeah. I was like, I know what I'm talking about, and you don't. That's what the eye roll was, and I was wrong, and I'm sorry for that. I'm an asshole. All right, we're gonna move on.
Before we go, the most votes she's got was 80,000 in the last election when she didn't have anyone running against her.
All right, we're moving on. We're a little late to the game, but I do want to talk about this. The Texas Senate race had a new entry. I guess that was now 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe. Ooh. Wesley Hunt.
Oh,
yeah.
Running for Senate. Who does it? I want to know who you guys think it helps. Does it help Cornyn or does it help Paxton? What do you think, Charles?
I don't think it helps either of them. I think it to the degree I don't know, but I think it hurts both of them because he's a viable alternative to each. If you like Cornyn, but you kind of don't like some of the moderate aspects of him, you can go with Wesley. If you like Paxton, but you don't like some of the baggage, you can go with Wesley. So I think he provides an alternative to each. I mean, sure, there's a higher percentage of alternative to one or the other. I would say probably, given his close relationship to Trump, it probably hurts Paxton a little more, but I still think it hurts them both.
It's a little bit of a cop out, but I'll come back to it.
I think that's the point, though, is I think he is entering this race as like it sounds offensive, but not really, but like a compromise candidate. Like if you cannot envision yourself voting for either of these guys, well, he is kind of like the best of the two. If you take the best parts of each and put them together.
So you think he's a combo of Cornyn and Paxton's best attributes?
You think you love him? You're a big fan.
I know I'm not a big fan, but what I will say is that I looked at the race and it had issues with both candidates, and then Wesley enters like, oh, okay.
But he's not going to pull from each of them identical numbers, so he's going to hurt one of them more.
Yeah, I think he probably hurts Paxton more, but I don't think much more.
Okay. So, Brad, what do you think?
Oh gosh, no te dejes. That's all I have to say. I think that he is going to pull votes away from Paxton.
Why?
Well, because he's got that close relationship with Trump, and he is really pushing the Trump angle and the MAGA angle. And I think that is, I mean, all three of them are going to try to do that as much as possible. But I mean, Paxton seems to be in everyone's mind more of the MAGA Republican. As if it's Paxton v. Cornyn, Paxton is the MAGA Republican. Yes or no?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So if it's Cornyn versus Hunt, which one is the more MAGA Republican?
Hunt.
So I think Hunt pulls votes away from Paxton. Because they're both MAGA Republicans. Hunt's not going to win.
They all claim to be MAGA Republicans, including John Cornyn.
No, yeah, I know he does. I heard him on the radio this morning. He was asked directly, "Are you a rhino, a Republican in name only?" And he laughed and said, "How can someone that's voted with Donald Trump 95% of the time be a rhino?" Well, maybe that makes Trump a rhino. I don't know, but I think that in people's minds. And I think you two agree with that, as you just answered my questions correctly, that Paxton and Hunt are more MAGA than Cornyn.
Yeah.
And so they're going to compete for the same votes.
I literally just said that.
Well,
no, you said that they're going, if Hunt gets 10 points, 5 are going to be from Cornyn's camp and 5 are going to be from Paxton's camp.
Yeah, and then Michael pushed me and said he's got to hurt one more, and I said Paxton.
Okay, well, then he asked me, and I answered the question. I'm sorry, Charles.
I'm just saying, I think we have the same explanation.
I'm going to disagree with both of you, but before I do that, I need to ask a very important question to Charles.
Uh-oh, I know what it is.
Wesley Hunt is a melanated brother.
Yes, I knew it.
Am I wrong?
I'm just happy with some black representation in the Senate race.
No, you're not wrong.
How does that play in this race? I mean, you know Republican primary voters in Texas better than me, maybe. I mean, does that have an impact on their, on whether or not they'll vote for Wesley Hunt? Okay, let me ask my question directly and stop skating around it. There is an element of racism in the Republican primary voters in Texas. It's long held. It exists. Does that impact Wesley Hunt's ability to pull Republican voters from the most right-wing extremes of the Republican Party base who are going to support Paxton?
I mean...
Oh, that's really interesting. I had not thought of that. I don't think it does. I really don't think it does. But I had not thought of that. I don't... Because here's the thing. I think for there's like an element of racism that you find, but like... If you put it, and this is kind of prejudice too in a certain sense, but there are a ton of Republicans who like actively seek out like black candidates like that because they want to support them to show. So like I don't know if it's an even number, but there are a lot of people who I think are very excited because like, well, we've got this guy who kind of checks these boxes and still carries the MAGA flag that we can then put up. So no, I don't think I would not put that as something that's going to hold him back against pulling from that wing of the party. It's an interesting thing, but I don't think so. I don't think so.
Brad was really struggling with that question or how you were responding to it because it looked like he was pooping when he was listening to us talk.
Well, you framed it in a way that I don't know if it sounds like Charles doesn't actually necessarily agree with your premise that there's a certain element of racism in the Republican primary voters.
I think among some, like, do I think widespread?
Yeah, there are some racists, yes.
Yes, but I think if you were to take primary voters on both sides, is the percentage higher on Republican side? Probably yes. But do I think it's like incredibly widespread that to the point where it would diminish his ability to win? No, I don't think so. I think it's marginal. I think. But it's loud. It's like a vocal, like it's a loud thing that you will probably hear things, and then they'll be amplified by media, of course, to be representative of a broader swath of primary.
The only important question is Wesley Hunt invited to the cookout?
I don't know if I'm invited to the cookout half the time, so I don't think I have any invitations to give out.
Whoa, you don't have a +1?
I don't know that I've got a plus any. I've got one for myself. So, but I think I don't see ever. I've never really seen Wesley like lean into using his like skin color to his advantage or like disadvantage, if you will. Like calling
to a white woman.
Yes.
Sounds like he's post-racial. Why do you laugh about that?
Huh?
Why do you laugh about that? He's post-racial. He sees no color.
I think you could be married to someone of another race and still see color, and I think everybody sees color.
Yeah, he saw some alabaster and liked it.
What is alabaster?
I'm just saying it exists. It probably exists even more. It's probably more prevalent on the left these days. Racism, not necessarily towards black people, but
are you saying Democrats
races.
are the real racists?
Yeah, I think so. But I think it's also a reality in the Republican Party when a lot of the Republican primary voters are like over 80 years old, and they come from a different time. And it's just it's not an accusation or a judgment of them. I think it's just a recognition of reality. And I see the MAGA wing of the party, the Trump people, being real fired up about Paxton. And so are they going to be like, are they going to pull from Paxton? No, I think they're going to pull from the undecideds who are probably more like Cornyn voters.
But you have, someone said this to me the other day, and I thought it was really interesting, that you have people who do not like Cornyn for a number of reasons, but in a general, with him on the ballot versus insert Democratic candidate here, will vote for him. But you have a lot of people who, meaning Republicans, who will not vote for Paxton because of, any of the number of baggage that comes along with it.
Against a Democrat?
Huh?
Against a Democrat?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You've never met a Republican that is a hard no on Paxton, under.
I mean, against a Democrat, if it's Tallarico,
they would undervote the race, not vote for the Democrat.
I don't.
Those exist. They're small, but they do exist, and they're mostly politicos. So people are really tuned into politics, and they're Christian, very socially conservative, and they don't like that he cheated on his wife. And so,
or even if you're a moderate Republican and you're pro-choice,
allegedly,
you're probably not gonna. If you're a pro-choice moderate Republican, you're probably not gonna bring yourself to vote for him. There are a number of people I think who could vote. I think the larger share of Republicans who don't like Cornyn, or the share of Republicans who don't like Cornyn but will still hold their nose and vote for him, is larger than the share of Republican voters who don't like Paxton. And I don't know if I just said that right, but. I think I just trying to work that in my head. So let's go through it.
I think that I don't know. Okay, fine. Yes, there are Republicans that hate Paxton because of social conservatism. He cheated on his wife, but all those people also voted for Donald Trump. So I don't think that's the real reason.
Very good point. Good point.
I think there's something else going on. They don't like his vibe, to put it in Gen Z terms. If that's really if those people really exist.
You've never met one Republican.
Yes, I've met people that don't like the Republicans that don't like Ken Paxton, of course, and they're very much against him. They think the impeachment and all whatever, he's sleazy. I don't care if it's Tallarico versus Paxton. They're not voting for Tallarico.
They don't have to vote for Tallarico.
Okay.
You don't have to vote for anybody. You can undervote a race. Plenty of people undervote
I have a very good friend who's conservative. And I think in Paxton's last race, he voted for his preferred Republican candidate. He wrote it in instead of voting for the Democrat or the Republican. That's what he means. But that's a tiny percentage of people.
I mean, but it was enough people who did that or something different that brought Paxton to a runoff.
Well, on the racist Republican voters, what do you think they think about the Trump administration having people like Kash Patel run the FBI and Dan Bongino? He's Italian, so he doesn't count as. I don't think he counts as white.
What does who think?
What do they think about that? Are they mad at Trump for picking Kash Patel, or are they like, Kash Patel's our man because someone in the Republican Party told them that he's their man?
No, I think they're like, who put this Pakistani into the FBI? I don't think they said Pakistani. I'm just
saying they said Indian.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
they're all the same.
Yeah, they're like, dang, his head's bobbling.
I love that you guys know that now.
All right, let's move on before you get me in more trouble with all my racist comments. Who's the real racist? We should play that. Yeah, we're moving on to Israel now. All right. Charles is excited.
Well,
I have been, in my very limited free time, I have been religiously watching Candace Owens since Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Candy
Owens, and she's catching a lot of flack. And here's what I want to say. I want to hear what you guys think. I don't know. You probably haven't watched it as much as I do, but here's one of her strategic errors. Ooh. She's conflating two very distinct, but I think important issues. One is, what was Charlie Kirk's position on the state of Israel when he was killed? That's an issue. It's being debated. There's a bunch of texts being thrown around, all sorts of stuff, but it's separate from the second question, which is what actually happened that day when he was shot. Those are two separate issues. And because she's conflating them, she's creating all sorts of problems for herself unnecessarily. On the first issue, I think she has, with others, has proven close to that Charlie was having strong opinions about, or strong reconsideration of his opinions about the state of Israel and his support for them. And on the second question, I think that she has reached a burden of proof that what we were being told on that day happened. It did not happen the way we were being told it happened. And so that's where I'm at. But I wanted to make that point that she's conflating two issues that are distinct. They're both important, but they are distinct. I'm wondering.
I have some thoughts. One, I don't know what you're talking about creating problems for herself. But two, how are we ever going to know what happened that day? The crime scene was wiped clean and rebuilt and totally contaminated. And you can't, what are you supposed to do here? We know it's all a lie. We know they're lying. Is Candace Owens' insinuations that Israel did it correct? Probably not, but I do know one thing's true, is that we're not being told the truth. And I think that's pretty clear.
Just real quick, I think that insinuation is the problem that the conflating the issues is causing, because I don't think she's saying Israel did it, but because she's talking about the two things in the same episode, it's being conflated to appear that she is saying that, when I don't think that's what she's saying.
So you're saying that Candace is saying two distinct things. One is about what we saw, what happened that day is not, and what we're being told are not the same story, or not the same thing, right?
It's not
what
the
actually
truth.
happened and what we're being told. And separately from that, she's talking about his position changes, but she's talking about them in the same episode, so everybody's lumping them together.
Correct.
Well, she's smart enough to know what she's doing, and she's smart enough to know what her audience would perceive from that.
That's why I don't think it's a problem.
Well, I mean, it's a problem if she knows it's not true and she's leading people to believe it's true. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't watched it, so I don't know what she genuinely believes. If she's out there saying don't come to these conclusions, but I'm going to sit here and lump these both in the same episode, well, you know what you're doing. I mean, I would think that you're leading people down that path.
I agree that she knows what she's doing, but I think she would be more effective if she just was on the trail of what happened that day. And when she comes to some conclusion on that, or just create a separate series and pull those two things apart. Because I think a lot of people who would otherwise be sympathetic to the government's lying to us, the FBI is lying to us, what happened to Charlie Kirk doesn't make sense the way they're telling us the story. People who are sympathetic to that are being reticent to come to the table because she's talking about all this other stuff that has to do with the state of Israel. And so while she may be boosting her numbers in the short term, I don't think she's helping her case long term.
But why is she the one? Does she have a piece of information that no one else has? Why is she the one who's able to ferret out?
But which part? Which issue?
About what actually happened that day. I know a lot of people are speculating. I know there's been YouTube videos and all this stuff analyzing it, but I've not heard. She seems like the most prominent person pursuing this. There's something else here. There's something else here. There's something else here. Does she have something else that no one else has?
She is interestingly the only one really of prominence.
And I think that's evidence, not proof, but evidence in and of itself that we're being lied to, because everyone else is trying to sweep it under the rug and say exactly what we were told is fine. Hey, Patriots are in control. 2 more weeks, guys. No big deal. We're transmitting live from the second White House in Mar-a-Lago, Florida. Don't worry about it.
But okay, I agree with that because I do think because I do think it's a little weird that like there's been this like rush of like giving him the presidential medal. Like it's just like a lot of like weird stuff happening very fast. So like I get why you're saying that, and I don't disagree. But what is she saying that separates what she's saying from like random people on Twitter? Like does she have something else? Is what I'm asking.
Just isn't it? There's a lot because there's like 8 or 10 episodes at this point, so you'd have to go. There's a lot, but just a few examples. She's talking to Tyler Robinson's family.
Okay, see,
she's talking to his roommate's family. She's talking to the medical examiner who told her they found a bullet in his neck. That was an entry wound, and they found the bullet right here, and it's not a 30-06 bullet.
Okay. All right. See, that's what I was asking.
So she's actively investigating this on her podcast and breaking incredible news, and the FBI is silent. And all of Charlie's friends are silent. Would she have some more backup if she weren't conflating the issues is my question.
I don't think so. Because I mean, I don't think that she would, because then I think that other people could just as easily take her information that's good and it's not, Israel. I don't think that she said this, but, totally leave Israel out of it, and they could be reporting on it too. But instead of that, all they do is talk about Candy Owens being an anti-Semite and hating Israel, and that's all she ever talks about. Shut up, Candace Owens. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. And they never talk about like, oh, wow, that is interesting that there's an entry wound and the bullet's not a 30-06.
Yeah,
wow.
But I think to Michael's point, she got out fast, and she had already been on this. She already been focused on these areas, which led people to call her an anti-Semite. And then when she started about this very early, it kind of created this narrative. And so it almost became like other people probably just didn't want to touch it. And so I could see why they would not, based on that. So I don't know that they could just pull it apart, because then they might still be lumped in it as well, even if they just didn't focus on that one thing. So I don't know. I've not watched this. I didn't realize she was like actually breaking stuff that like to that degree.
You're friends with her. How do you not know that? God, you did her show, dude.
4 years ago.
That was a big time like that. She was popular then. Like you have her cell phone number. You probably went to the baptisms.
Yeah. Well,
is she Catholic?
Yes, she's Catholic. Do they not do baptisms?
No, they do. Do they?
I think they do.
I thought only Baptists.
No.
I've been to a Mormon baptism. It's very strange, but
is there a lot of
issue for another day? Issue for another day.
Is there soaking in a Mormon baptism?
Go ahead, Michael.
Kind of. Anyways, I encourage you to watch it. I think she's made a compelling case. I obviously know that my disposition is to believe that the government's lying to me, and she's made a pretty compelling case that they are. They've made a pretty compelling case that they are over my lifetime. So,
yes. You have all the evidence in the world.
Who is she saying is covering this up? The president?
PPUSA.
I think she's saying the federal government is covering it up.
So the president?
So that would imply that the president is, yes.
That's interesting that because she used to be his biggest fan.
She has not been a big fan of his, including she broke on her show that he called her to try to talk her off of reporting on Brigitte Macron's penis.
Yeah, what's the latest on that? Have they pulled it out in court yet?
No, they said they're going to provide DNA evidence.
Yeah, that's someone else's DNA. So who cares? It's not going to work.
All right.
He has a big penis. Hold on, Michael. I have big news.
Go.
You see that guy?
John Bolton.
He's your favorite, and so I have bad news for you. He's been indicted.
Ooh. For what? That mustache?
That mustache. It states that Bolton kept more than 1,000 pages of diaries. Loser. Men write journals containing top secret information and shared them with relatives. His email account was hacked by Iran, exposing some of the secrets.
That's interesting. You can't. Huh. That's interesting. So in his journal, he wrote.
Diary.
In his diary, he wrote, I guess, I didn't know you could get in trouble for that.
For writing down top secret information.
I never thought of it. Like, I bet, like, I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, dude, you can't just write that on class and like you can't just store that stuff at home and have top secret state secrets in your personal possession that you're not allowed to have. Like,
well, I knew he can't like print them out and like staple them in his diary, but like to write down something in your head, I don't know. I never thought of that. Just never
I think that's illegal.
Guess so. He got indicted.
He's been indicted. So happy birthday, Michael. Or
I shall cry a tear for him.
I bet you're gonna cry a lot more. I know you love that dude.
He's pretty awesome. A bunch of people got indicted. We haven't really talked about that.
Well, I mean, Comey and him. Who else? What the fuck are you talking about?
Just those guys?
I think so.
Is Brennan coming next?
I don't know. I mean, seems likely. I mean, couldn't we get Fauci? Can we finally lock her up? Am I right? It's been 8 years.
I don't think that's going to happen.
It's never going to happen. I know. Bill Clinton came out and thanked President Trump by name for ending the Israel-Hamas war.
Oh, yeah. That's a topic.
That's a topic.
But we'll have to save it for another day because I got to call it quits on this show for now.
Forever?
No, just for now.
Just for today. It was good. It was fun. We talked about Gina Hinojosa, your favorite, behind Anna Paulina Luna.
I mean,
and so
if
I do want to
brings back the cornrows, she'll be my favorite then.
I do want to, the other topic that we're not going to get to today, but I do want to talk about at some point is it's heavy. My parents are, in their 60s, and Brad, is this too personal? You've lost your dad. Charles, you're going through stuff.
You didn't give me a chance to answer.
Yeah, I know. Charles, you're having things with your mom. And so just something I've been thinking about personally, like what are the things I need to make sure I do with my parents while they're still here? And I want to talk about that on the show, but we'll have to save it for next time I host.
I think I don't know who's hosting next week, but we should talk about it next week. I mean,
who's hosting next week because you know the name of the show.
But it doesn't go in that order.
Yes, it does.
Oh, does it really?
All right, folks. Hey, share this episode with your friends. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us why Brad's the best. He needs it more than Charles and I do. See you next week.
What the this?
Adios, friends and family.